What if the summer that changed everything did not end at Cousins Beach but in the streets of Paris? That is exactly where the next chapter of Belly's story takes us. And the twist is bigger than anyone expected. Instead of heartbreak pulling her down, Paris promises reinvention, temptation, and a test of who she truly is. The season has hinted at this shift for a while, but episode 10 makes it crystal clear. Belly is no longer just the girl caught between Conrad and Jeremiah. She is a young woman searching for herself in one of the most romantic and unpredictable cities in the world. Paris has always been painted as a dreamland in American shows, yet dreams can quickly twist into illusions. In this story, that dreamlike quality becomes a stage for mistakes, growth, and love colliding all at once. Right from the start, signs of unreality hit us. Belly's sudden decision to board a plane after a failed wedding is bold, almost reckless. Think about it. Anyone who has ever studied abroad knows the endless forms, the visa struggles, the stress of planning. Belly skips all that with one phone call and a suitcase. It feels absurd, but it also shows her determination to escape the mess she left behind. She is chasing freedom, not just Paris, but freedom comes with a price. Paris greets her not with soft lights and croissants, but with complications. A school rejection shatters her confidence. Her backpack disappears in a blink, stolen in a moment of carelessness. And yet, Belly refuses to crumble. Instead, she storms into the hidden corners of the city trying to recover what is hers. That fierce courage could have ended in disaster. She could have been hurt. Yet it becomes the moment that defines her, because in that chaos, she does not just lose a bag. She gains something unexpected. She makes friends who stand by her almost instantly. She even captures the attention of a French boy who sees fire in her spirit. It is unrealistic, yes, but it pulls the story into a new orbit. Belly is no longer just reacting to heartbreak. She is actively building a life, working in a restaurant, discovering the inspiration of Notre Dame's reconstruction, learning what it means to rebuild herself from the ashes of mistakes and heartbreak. Still, beneath this new independence, one truth hides in plain sight. Belly is not free. She can laugh with new friends, she can explore Paris, she can even feel the spark of a new romance, but deep down she carries the weight of Conrad. And the moment that French boy leans in for a kiss, that truth will strike like lightning. This is only the beginning. Because the story is not just about Belly adjusting to Paris. It is about time itself bending, jumping forward to show us how months of her life unfold. Years of tension from the books will now compress into a handful of episodes. Every choice Belly makes, every friendship she forms, every romance she risks, is leading to one inevitable collision: the return of Conrad. And Jeremiah Belly's Paris chapter does not just begin with setbacks. It evolves into something that looks like a new identity. She dives into work at a small restaurant surrounded by laughter, clattering dishes, and the rhythm of the city. For the first time in months, she feels like she belongs somewhere outside, the drama of Cousins Beach. The cathedral rising from its ruins mirrors her own attempt to piece herself back together. Each day in Paris feels like another brick in that reconstruction. Her circle of new friends quickly becomes a support system. They welcome her as if she has always been part of their world. And for Belly, who has spent years tangled between two brothers, the simplicity of their loyalty feels almost unreal. She can sip coffee by the Seine, laugh at inside jokes, and imagine herself as someone who never had to choose between Conrad and Jeremiah. It looks perfect. But perfection always hides cracks. The first crack arrives when Taylor reaches out. Best friends have a way of piercing illusions, and Taylor wastes no time booking a trip to see Belly in Paris. The reunion is joyful, filled with late-night talks, adventures through the city, and the easy comfort of sisterhood. Taylor celebrates Belly's transformation and even tells her she looks like a true Parisian now. On the surface, it feels like validation. But beneath the laughter, Taylor senses something Belly refuses to admit. The shadow of Conrad still lingers. Taylor leaves Paris convinced that Belly has moved on, but the audience knows better. Because the test is coming. The French boy, charming, bold, intrigued by her fire, will finally make his move. He will lean closer, ready to turn their friendship into something more. And in that heartbeat, Belly realizes the truth. She cannot escape Conrad. Her heart, despite everything, refuses to let go. This moment is the hinge of the entire arc. Paris gave Belly freedom, friends, and independence. Yet when romance comes knocking, her mind betrays her. Every kiss she imagines belongs to Conrad. No matter how far she runs, the past follows. And the story makes sure we cannot ignore that reality. Because just as Belly tries to silence her feelings, time begins to shift. The show introduces massive time jumps, compressing months into scenes, skipping ahead to pivotal events. We are not watching day-by-day struggles anymore. We are racing toward destiny. The books told us it would take years for Belly and Conrad to find their way back to each other. The series has only episodes left. That means every jump, every letter, every unexpected return will carry the weight of years of longing. And this is where the storm gathers. Conrad's letter is on its way, the first sign that distance cannot sever the bond between them. Belly may ignore it at first, convincing herself she has a new life. But Conrad is not one to stay silent. If letters do not work, he will come to Paris himself. Yet he will not come alone. The letter was only the beginning. For weeks, Belly kept it, hidden away, unopened at first, then read and reread in the quiet of her small Paris apartment. Conrad's words carried the weight of unfinished business. They were filled with longing, regret, and the promise that he had not let go. Belly tried to resist, convincing herself that silence was the best answer. Yet silence has a way of calling, louder than words, and soon Conrad decided he could not wait any longer. When he finally appears in Paris, it is not just a reunion. It is a storm breaking after months of tension. The sight of Conrad in the same city that Belly now calls home feels unreal, like a fragment of Cousins Beach transplanted onto the cobblestones of France. His presence pulls every emotion she tried to bury back to the surface. But what makes this moment even more shocking is the figure standing at his side, Jeremiah. Jeremiah's arrival changes everything. He is not here to compete. He is not here to demand. He is here to support. His presence is a statement that the endless triangle, the rivalry that fractured the Fisher brothers, is shifting into something new. Jeremiah, who once fought for Belly's heart, is now standing beside Conrad, allowing her to see that his blessing has been given. It is as if he is saying, "Choose him. I'll be all right." That level of sacrifice is both beautiful and heartbreaking. For Belly, this gesture brings confusion as much as relief. She never wanted Jeremiah to carry the pain of letting go, and yet here he is, showing that his love for her is strong enough to accept the truth. The drama of seasons past transforms into something more complicated than jealousy. It becomes a story of reconciliation. How can brothers who once loved the same girl now stand side by side? How can years of rivalry dissolve into forgiveness so easily? These questions keep the tension alive, pulling us forward. And Conrad himself is not the boy who left Cousins Beach. His decision to chase Belly across the ocean is proof of his growth. He is no longer passive, no longer hiding his feelings behind silence. He wants her back, and he is willing to fight for her. Yet even now, Paris does not make things simple. Belly's new friendships, her fragile independence, her attempts to heal, all of it crashes against the reality that Conrad has returned to claim the place he always held in her heart. Paris, once a city of escape, is now the stage for the final confrontation of love, loyalty, and truth. Every corner holds a choice. Does Belly embrace the life she is building or surrender to the pull of the past? Does she accept Jeremiah's sacrifice or reject the burden of being at the center of their reconciliation? The answers cannot be delayed. The time jumps have accelerated the pace, compressing what once took years into moments. The Fisher brothers are in Paris. Belly is standing at the crossroads. And the story is about to ask her to choose, not just between Conrad and Jeremiah, but between who she was and who she wants to be. The heart of this story has never been Paris or Cousins Beach, or even the whirlwind of friendships and fleeting romances. It has always been about choices, the ones that define who Belly becomes, and the ones that test the bond between the Fisher brothers. In episode 10, those choices, but love is not simple. Jeremiah's presence makes sure of that. His willingness to stand beside his brother forces Belly to look deeper. Can she accept Conrad knowing Jeremiah is silently stepping aside? Can she bear the weight of his sacrifice? The triangle that once sparked jealousy now transforms into a fragile bridge of forgiveness. And yet, as much as Jeremiah wants to be strong, the cracks in his heart cannot be ignored. The climax builds when Belly is forced to confront her own reflection. She realizes that Paris was never about escaping love. It was about finding herself, strong enough to face it. She has grown from the impulsive girl who boarded a plane on a whim. She has stumbled, rebuilt, and learned what independence feels like. Now she has to decide whether that independence means walking away from the Fishers completely, or finally admitting that Conrad is the one she cannot let go. The choice she makes does not only shape her, it reshapes the brothers too. For Conrad, this is redemption, a chance to step into the man he was always meant to be. For Jeremiah, it is painful acceptance, but also the first step toward healing the bond with his brother. The rivalry that defined them may finally soften into something new. And for Belly, it is the end of running. The moment she stops pretending. As the episode closes, Paris no longer feels like an illusion. It feels like reality. Messy, imperfect, but alive. The city becomes the backdrop for a transformation that was years in the making. The letters, the time jumps, the heartbreak, and the hope all converge into one truth. Love cannot be delayed forever. The story leaves us with questions that linger long after the screen fades. Will Belly and Conrad finally claim the future hinted at in the books? Will Jeremiah truly find peace in letting go? And will the Fisher brothers reconcile fully? Or will this fragile truce unravel the moment they return home? These are the threads